Hello, everyone. Nice little lovely episode of Inside the Rapper Studio, episode 38 to be exact. We're gonna go ahead and get some things popping. We got Neon June for today's episode. Pretty excited to hear all this excellent, out of this world music. Let's get a little sound check. Alright, cool. Check some notes. Okay, right there. Alright, we should be good. Hopefully everybody's having a good, what is it, Wednesday? Shit, it's Wednesday. Yeah. If you guys can't hear, we have Benjamin Banger in the house playing Smash. Give it up for my guy. Once Neon gets on live, we're pretty much gonna get things started, get things packed out, and get things rocking. Pretty good live yesterday. Me and Dewey Lowe talked about a lot in terms of production and balancing production and rapping. Also talking about plug music, and speaking of plug music, huge happy birthday to Miss Kane. Oh, Neon's in the building. Go ahead and join it live. We're gonna get started, player. Okie doke. Let's get these notes together. Alright. Yo.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, bro?
Pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Cool. Welcome to another exciting episode of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Score Swayze. Today we have a very special guest in the building. He is the out-of-the-world man that we all know in terms of the sounds, in terms of the tracks, in terms of the audio in general. Everybody, please drop hearts, drop likes, drop comments for the one, the only, Neon June.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yo, thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for joining me.
For sure.
How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. It's another chill day in the quarantine life. You know what I'm saying? Taking it easy. Just been making a lot of music, man. Just trying to create as much as possible, for sure.
That's all we can do at this point.
Yes, sir, man. I'm saying, bro. How about yourself, man? How you feeling? How you taking it all right now, man?
I mean, it's another day on the planet to make things happen. I have
right
whatsoever. Just
yeah.
give glory and give what you need. That's all.
For sure. Feel it.
So for every episode, if you may or may not know, basically the guest in the beginning tells the origin story of how everything got started with the musically. So could you tell us how everything got started with the artist known as Neon June?
Nah, for sure. So probably, started making music or started taking making music more seriously, kind of after college. I went to UMBC. I studied audio engineering. Their program is it's a little more, it's a good audio recording program, but it's really specified on like just miking techniques, things like that. So that kind of started my like deep involvement in music. Really starting to make tracks, produce things. Really since then, probably like in the last 2 years, kind of taking, just making my own stuff and getting that out there, taking that more seriously and getting more, just showing people what we're doing, man. We've been making music a long time, man. So it's really about just showcasing what we've been cooking up, honestly. Yeah.
Absolutely. You said that you had the engineering startup within UMBC. How much did you learn musically at UMBC?
Man, a lot, because in addition to being in that program, I was also playing like in the big bands, and of course like producing stuff. So it was good. It's a good foundation to have, especially, I mean, like in a time like right now, man. It's just looking back, it's like a blessing because it's good to be able to kind of have your hand in every part of that process, that artistic release, from producing it to rapping on it to mixing it, and then getting it out to the people, for sure. So it's definitely a big influence. I'm definitely more of like in terms of like the whole artist picture, more of on the technical side and the production side. So it's cool to be able to be in charge of that for yourself.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Uh, the experience that you got within UMBC, and you said that you were working in bands, correct?
yeah. I played in the big band. I played saxes, alto, and bari saxes in the big band for sure. Yep.
Are those all the instruments that you know, or is it like a whole plethora of more?
Really saxes and keys. I'm not a piano player, but I know keys enough to do a lot of production. So yeah, that's gonna be my limits for sure, for
Gotcha.
sure.
I feel like in terms of instrumentation, especially for artists nowadays, it's a bit of a dying hill. You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah,
though a lot of computer work, it's a lot of digitized things, and honestly, there's not a lot of instruments being used. Period. Do you
yeah.
feel as though with the experience that you got within UMBC with these instruments, would it help you in this new age that we're going in?
Yeah, for sure. And I think what's really dope right now is maybe the kind of the fusion of the two worlds, right? So, just people having really crazy drum programming, and then somebody lays like the actual live bass line on it. Somebody plays a horn line over it. So I think that's where the magic is kind of right now. That's really a big part of like my production, for sure. So kind of that combination of the two, I think, just bringing more musicality and then more, to the more traditional things, which are like kind of like what you're saying, like drum programming, things like that, making that stuff more, abstract, make it, switching that up. Yeah. And then combine the two, see where we go, see how it comes out.
Gotcha, gotcha. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about with this interview is a project that you dropped in 2017 called 8080.
Oh,
Could
word,
you give
word.
details on how this project came about, concept wise and sound wise?
Yeah, yeah. So really that was like kind of the first of a ongoing kind of album arc with the 808s. Just this decade of and like what we're talking about, this programming, this robotic kind of age. How do we find some type of I don't know, uniqueness when a lot of things are kind of the same? So that was kind of like, okay, let's enter this new era of that. And that first one specifically, man, that's real rap shit. A lot of rapping, a lot of dope production. All the production on that joint was either me or the homies. I'm part of a group called Zony Sound. Shout out Zony Sound. And it was either me or my brother Briley Harris on production on almost all those joints. So yeah, again, it's dope to have uh the skill set and then dope people around you as well, where you can kind of put out a project kind of like, oh, this was all the team. Everybody on here from every aspect of it was all the team. So yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. Speaking of, they just joined in, so huge shouts out to Zony Sound.
Hey, Zang Gang,
Um,
Zang Gang.
First song I wanted to talk to you about within 8080 is the 8080 thing. Is it 8080 or is it
Oh
80?
yeah, yeah. So the 808s. So the 808s. So yeah, yeah.
I keep fucking that up.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first song I wanted to talk to you about within 8080s is the 8080 theme. So could you tell us how this song came about, concept wise and structure wise?
Word, word. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think now I'm using probably mostly Ableton and Pro Tools to produce, but I started in FL. And so that beat is actually probably like one of the last beats that I was like making in FL. So it's still it's got that, I don't know, it just has that very, trap soul-y influence. And again, we're talking about the horns, we're talking about combining exactly what we were talking about previously, man. Like combining that really, really janky, really knocking, throwed off hip hop drums with some live instrumentations, road sounds coming in, throwing some vibes. And then the sax on top of it too, man. The sax arrangements is a dope thing I like to add on top of the production, just because, like you're saying, it's a nice little element that we don't usually see, especially with somebody to come in rapping after it, for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, first of all, I usually do like live listens and stuff when it comes to my interviews just so I can get the idea of how this song came about while I listen to it.
Okay.
But I took a few sneak listens thanks to the person that's actually in this live, Baby Badu, who shouts out to Baby Badu.
Hey, shout out Baby Badu.
And one of the things that really stuck out was just the production overall. And it just sounded like something that's completely out of frame for what's going on right now.
Okay.
Even for something that's in 2017 and even in 2020 now, it still has that, like, you know what I'm saying, avant-garde.
Hey, word, appreciate that.
What do you credit that style to?
Man, just soaking in like a lot of different things. And this is like no like shade to any other artist, but it's always funny to me sometimes when you hear artists and they're like, yeah, my influences was Jimi Hendrix, it was Prince, and then you hear the record and it's just like the same monotonous shit that you've heard everybody else do, right? So I mean, a lot of that crazy, that zony sound is just all the influence, like all the influences of stuff I listened to coming up, and then just stuff I listened to, I think, in school. So like the big thing coming up, man, I'm a Jill Scott, Erykah Badu baby for sure. And so to go, yeah, you already know what's up, yeah, yeah. So to go from that to, I think the dope thing about being raised kind of in that niche is that you already have this idea that um good music, it doesn't have to be what you've heard before. It can be unique. It can be this sound I've never really experienced. It can be this vibe I never really experienced. So I think like going from listening to that type of stuff growing up, and then a lot of like NERD, Seeing Sounds. I just put the Seeing Sounds album back on my phone actually, because that Jones crazy. Yeah, yeah. So the internet, that's definitely a big influence when it comes to, you know, all throwed off production with some dope chords under it. Hiatus Coyote, Little Dragon, all this weird stuff to then make hip hop based music. So it's kind of like, you are like always a product of what you take in. So I think that's what a lot of it has to do with listening to stuff that's, if you, no shade to Future. I love the toxic masculinity patron saint. I got him on the phone. I just put the new joint on the phone. But it's like, if you only listen to Future, how much variety can spit out? And that goes for any artist. If you only listen to one type of genre of music, how different can your output be?
Right. So pretty much like listening to these different artists diversifies your bag in a sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I think so. Yeah, yeah. Just being open to listen to new stuff. Some people aren't open to tapping into something they never heard before. It's got to be something that they seem like pressed up, clean, or a genre that they're used to listening to. Yeah, just tap into something different. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you spoke earlier on pretty much like what you use to produce, which is between like Ableton. I wish I had like a Boeing sound effects for that, but
Yeah.
it's like big FL gang in this house.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
But yeah, like what would you consider your most work done in terms of your DAWs that you use?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Uh, and again, like I said, I can't even shade FL because like that's definitely what I started in, yo. And especially now, like the current version of FL, you get some good fucking mixing plugins in it. You get Waves in FL, like your shit is knocking. I think the I got one of the Novation controllers, the Ableton kind of works like really closely with, and it came with the free version of Ableton, and I really liked how just like out the box I could really do like the cute little sweepy delays, echoes, little high pass filter, low pass filter shit. Like the 404 type beat repeat stuff was like really easy to dial in like right on this controller. So I think I kind of like that aspect of Ableton. Ableton was kind of set up for this live looping capability, this idea of you can make the beat, but then you can also make a performance out of making the beat itself as well. But nah, man, like, but I will say, whether it's FL or Ableton that I'm working on, it's always gonna get bounced out of there into Pro Tools and then mixed down again. So it's all three for real, for real. I say right now it's definitely Ableton and Pro Tools. Yeah,
Got you.
yeah.
My crowd probably won't be too happy about that, but I
Hey man,
I
hey man.
within like making beats and your production skills from there. So for folks that's just walking in, the songs that were just playing was 88 80s theme, and also the song after that was Bout You, featuring somebody that's on this live right now, which is Briley Harris. So,
Hey, cruk. Sony.
so
What's up,
for
Truth?
those that
I'm bro
don't
from
know,
Napping here too.
this is episode 38 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Score Swayze, and today at my bottom, we have the wonderful guest of Neon June. Neon June, thanks again for answering these tough, hard-hitting, in-your-face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm going to give a few shout-outs to everybody that's in the building right now. Huge shouts-out to Baby Badu, obviously. Shouts-out to Bitchy Spice. L Cook just dropped a project recently called After Hours. Go check that out all on streamings. Shouts out to The Truth Too Real. Shouts out to Briley Harris. Shouts out to Finagle Baby. Shouts out to who else we got in here? Shouts out to Zony Sound, obviously. Shouts out to Dynamo. Shouts out Young Sar. Shouts out KLA.
Pop, 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 pop.
Nice little full house we got going on.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
next thing I talk to you about was a project that you just recently dropped called Lucy's.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Concept and give us the story behind this project.
Word. So Lucy's kind of started as the usual. I got a lot of material that I kind of want to get off. Let me figure out a way to kind of package this up and then get it out to the people in a way that makes sense cohesively, but is also the result of a lot of work across a wide across a long time, right? What ends up happening when you try to do some shit like that is you start there and then you just end up making a new EP anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was definitely one of those. And also definitely like something where I was like, okay, I wanted to get another instrumental project out. I got another instrumental project. I was talking about that three-piece series with the 8080s, the 8080 one. That's the other instrumental joint I got on SoundCloud. So I was like, yeah, I wanted to get another kind of updated instrumental tape out there, and also kind of I like doing the instrumental thing because you can kind of give a commentary of like where your head's at musically and like who you're listening to and like what would you do if you had this vocalist or just different interpretations of things that people are kind of tapping into right now. So yeah, that's kind of what Lucy's was. Ended up just kind of being all right. Like I said, man, like half of that stuff is all like within the past couple of months when it was supposed to be like the old ass beat tape joint. So yeah.
Got you. So the first song I wanted to talk to you about within Lucy is a song called So Hard.
Hey.
Give your aspect and giving you like your train of thought when it comes to making a song like this.
Word. I mean, so yeah, that was cool. I like that. Shout out to Brent Fayez. He's probably one of my favorite singers right now, probably favorite artists in general. Super sick writer. And just like a dope, unique kind of voice in R&B right now. And that was kind of like my kind of flip and homage to him. He had a record on, not on the most recent Fuck the World tape that he dropped, but it's on I think it was the Lost Kids EP. But it was the start of the EP. It was like this acapella joint. And I think I remember like as soon as I heard it, was like, oh, we flipping this joint. We getting crazy with this one. So yeah, that's another kind of like playlisting DJ thing. I'm not a DJ, but I am a producer. And I'm not a singer, so I don't do covers, but I'm a producer, so I use my tools, I use my voice the way I can and do it like that. Especially when it comes to just curating other people's music, I guess. Yeah.
Got you. So pretty much with like songs like these and having inspirations from certain artists such as Brent Faiyaz and things like that, do you get more? If I guess, do you get more influences from certain artists from today instead of yesteryear, such as like your Jimi Hendrixes and things of that?
Um, yeah, I say it's probably honestly like a good balance. That's a good ass question. All right, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's,
like the line.
yeah, nah, I like that one. That's cool because, like I said, we're all creators, we're all artists, so we're all like, I'm a big like proponent of saying, we're all just a sum of like all of our influences at the end of the day. So I think it's actually probably a decent mix of things that like really have moved me and artists who have really moved me. So like, we say yesteryear, like Kid Cudi's not yesteryear, but he's definitely a person who like it is like important in terms of like my artistic creation and just me like coming up personally, right? So I think it's a good balance. I'm always kind of, if somebody does captivate me to the point where I'm like, okay, I would want to make something like this, it's usually somebody who I'm gonna like listen to further. So new artists, I think if I discover a new artist that's really shaking like that, then yeah, I think it's definitely something that could be an influence for sure, for sure.
Got you. I really do appreciate the. I guess I don't want to say modesty because modesty just sounds like a little flimsy, but I appreciate the honesty to like, I guess, search inspirations from artists of today. Whereas though a lot of artists, especially like how sensitive and like how arrogant we can be
Right,
with the
right.
make, like we kind of just like don't really look towards everybody else's like what I'm saying, art and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
do appreciate that type of like aspect
Right,
to
right.
like look towards others. So huge shouts out to you for that. Once again, for everybody that's just rolling in, the song that was just playing was "So Hard," the intro off of Lucy's, the most recent project for episode 38 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Most recent and most special guest, Ron June.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks again for joining me. Give a few more shout outs to everybody that's in the building. Shouts out to Briley Harris again. Shouts out to Turfland. Huge fan of the show. Shouts out to Beth Banger. Beth Banger just dropped a recent project called Heart of Fire. Go check that out on all streaming services. Also, shouts out to Graffiti Tech, a former guest of the show. Shouts out to Planet MG. Big shout
Hey,
out to MG. He's going to be on the show tomorrow. Please
plenty,
check it
plenty.
out. So also check. Also shouts out to Cinnamon Sugar. She just rolled in. I don't want to like leave nobody out.
Hey, what's up, Yinka? That's game right there.
So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the golden era of neon. Could you
Okay.
tell us how you kind of pick out your production and make your production, and how it all kind of transcribes to what it comes out to what we hear today?
Yeah, yeah. I think now, at least for sure, it's just kind of diving deeper, just seeing how we can freak it next, what's next, what's the other thing, and then also just kind of executing, because I think of artists, we always have like, oh, it'd be cool if I did this, and maybe I should do this, and what, like this sound would be crazy too. I think the big thing is like, okay, let's do it, and then we'll see how it sounds, and we'll make determinations, whether we want to like move forward with it or whatever. But I think creatively, I think right now it's just execute on all the the unique ideas, and don't let things just be ideas. Let them come to fruition for sure.
Gotcha. So, with the sounds that you do make and the inspirations that you do have, do you feel as though that with the unique sounds that you do make, would you inspire other people to create things that's somewhat avant-garde, just like yourself?
Yeah, but I think the big thing is like you should do you. So if like if drill shit is you, then like then drill on these niggas. But like also, if drill shit is not you, and you think that you should be making like, I don't know, like Cherry Bomb, Tyler the Creator type music, then maybe that's not the, like don't, yeah, yeah, like then that's not for you. So I think it's less about like trying to be overtly unique, but while obviously trying to set a precedent with what you're trying to do. But I think it's more so you gotta do you just gotta be authentic. I think authenticity will take you a lot further for sure.
I can completely agree with that. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Next song I wanted to talk to you about was the song right after So Hard, which is Slow Grind. Tell
Hey,
us where
hey,
your mind
hey,
is
hey,
making a
hey.
track like
Yeah, man, that's the joint right there, man. That's the you get yeah, man. Like that's one of the ones where like you miss you hate that we in quarantine, man. Like you can see that like kind of going down, like dimly lit club type situation. It's a good vibe, man. I like it's a cool Afrobeat flip because it's a little moody while it's still like upbeat, but it's still very moody, and slow grind, Pretty Ricky, man. That's like that. You just hear that song, man. You start getting flashbacks, man. So you already know what's good with that jump. Like it's a good record. I like that one. I think it's a good one to put in the rotation. I think it's a fun one for sure.
because when I was doing the ad this morning for like the advertisement for the show today, I was
Yeah,
trying to figure out like which song to put inside the ad,
yeah,
and that kind
yeah,
of like completely stuck. I'm like,
yeah,
that one.
yeah, yeah.
What would you credit this type of style to in terms of creativity? Because I saw a song on one of your projects called Fela Kuti. Would you
Hey.
consider Fela one of your inspirations as well? So,
Yeah, actually. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like I said, I told you I'm an audio engineer. That's what I do professionally. And one of the groups I've been blessed to work with and tour with is this group from South Africa actually. And they're called Soweto Gospel Choir. And I was like kind of hip to, South African artists and just but when I like started working with them, they was like putting me on to people who were like on the scene and like people who were like goats in the game, just real legends. And that kind of it influenced it a lot, but it was also interesting to see because a lot of like the current artists that they'll put me onto, like their stuff doesn't necessarily sound like Afrobeat. It sounds like, 808 Mafia, you know what I'm saying? It's just a nigga with the South African, with the Afrikaans accent or like a Zulu accent on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to see how the influence, how we influence each other actually for sure. So again, another kind of playlisty, kind of like slick ideas, kind of like a different mashup because it's like originally such a slow kind of song. So you just brought it up beat and like the lyrics and the vibe of that song kind of make sense, with an Afrobeat record. So yeah.
got you. I'm actually glad that you brought up the fact that like there's similar sounds within not just like what I'm saying the diaspora within like what I'm saying
Oh
South
yeah.
Africa or just like Nigeria or even America for that
Oh yeah.
matter. Do you feel as though the best thing we can do as a people, because I'm about to just break fourth wall, as black people, as
Yeah.
black Americans, should we try to reach out more for these sounds and try to like really blend in the music?
Yeah. But again, authenticity, 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 right? It's kind of and it's a hard thing to navigate, right? It's just like, cultural appropriation. When like you like can you tell a white person, hey, you can't wear your hair in dreads like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like there's you understand why people feel a way about that because if I got my hair in dreads, nigga, I'm messy. So you get like I think the big thing again, authenticity, because you don't want to like take something that's like you only want to take something to use it just because it's popular, right? There's a lot of insincere renditions of Afrobeat shit. There's a lot of dope ass like renditions of Afrobeat. But the thing is, that's not the only music that's coming out of Africa. Like Afrobeat, music. There's a lot of like instrumental music that begin talking Fela Kuti or no, Hubert Sakela is like another like person who's just like really big influence on me. I've like sampled a lot of his records and the kind of the way hip hop kind of has affinity for artists like a Gil Scott Heron. I think they would get into a Fela Kuti. They get into Hugh Masekela. So I think is obviously you got to do it authentically because you can do that kind of that Sankofa, that going back without just doing an Afrobeat song with boom, on the drums, So it's you got to be authentic with it, authentic with it. And I will say one more on that, like it is up to us. Like nobody's gonna like find that other music because only the popular thing is gonna get pushed, whether whatever genre it is. So it is up to you to kind of like seek out the different shit.
Not gonna lie, that was probably one of my best runs as like a question. For one, a question, and two, an answer. So I have
Work.
to give props on that.
Hey,
Also,
hey.
props on dropping names such as Gil Scott and
Oh,
fucking
for sure.
Master Kayla. I never expected to hear these names in the midst of these fucking interviews.
Again, man,
So,
influence. It's all influence, bro. It's all about influence. Like you take in different shit. Like it'll come out. It'll come out different.
got you. So once again, this is episode 38 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Score Swayze, and today we have the very special guest of Neon June.
You're
Answering these hard-hitting Team Z in your business questions.
man.
Give a few more shout-outs to everybody that's just walking in. Shouts out to 13, ADH13. Shouts out to Backlund Some. Hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Also, shouts out to Christina Sharper Music. Christina Sharp Music. Sorry.
Hey, what's up? Naptown in this joint heavy. I see.
Ooh,
What up? What up? Hey,
like
Naptown.
Indianapolis?
Indianapolis. It's crazy actually. So I always had family in Maryland, like as long as I live, right? I was actually born in Silver Spring. I moved to Indianapolis when I was, I think, one. My pops got a job out there, and then I went to UMBC, 2010, and I've been living out here ever since.
Don't
Yeah.
you just love how black people travel?
Hell, we be moving, bro. Hey, we be going where the bag go, bro. You know what I'm saying? Short.
Also, shouts out to Who in the Stew. Shouts out to Peace Rusty, a huge supporter of the show. Shouts out
Hey,
to my guys.
shout out
So,
to Down 95. I see my man's up in here.
of course, shouts out Diesel Mac. The mans of the hour, the mans with the sour, the mans with the diesel.
Hey.
So
Hey, hold up. Shout out to Score Swayze one time, man. One time, for sure. Got to get the applause for yourself, bro. Yes, sir, man. Hey, the first time I seen you was at one of the 808s and Sad Boys. Shout out to K. Yeah. Shout out to K. And I think Goodness Godson was on the bill as well. I can't remember because there's so many of them. But like I work a very I work in venues and shit. So I'm getting off late as shit. And it always got the late night bills on 808s and Sad Boys. So slid through the crowd and I seen you crushing your fucking set. So for sure, shout out to you, bro.
as much as I appreciate that, it is a blessing to even be considered being on 808. It was actually open world.
Oh,
As much as I want to say, yeah, I was on 808, I wasn't.
oh shit. Damn.
I can't cap like that. Trust
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna pull that card. I do not want to pull.
Oh, my bad. I'm up in here false flagging and shit. Hey, but regardless, nigga, yo said you were dope as fuck.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah, 100, bro.
So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, Mr. June, is what is next for the Out of This World artist.
For sure. Right now, working on a couple, just continuing to work on music, working on visuals, getting the whole package together for sure, man. We got some cool things coming, man. We got some more emotion, more like motion, like movement, more vibes for sure, man. Just like you said, man, like we've been talking about this whole time, being a reflection of your influence, being an authentic reflection of your influences. So, you're gonna see more funky stuff. You're gonna hear more synthy analog shit, like all this stuff behind me, man. It's gonna get wacky. So just hope people along for the ride for sure.
Gotcha. So I actually didn't have a next song to play, but being as though there are some requests, apparently, because I do request now.
Okay.
One of the songs that was being requested is Carry Out.
Mm,
So tell us how this song came about for you.
that was dope. That was dope. Damn, Gil Scott Heron. Gil Scott Heron sample. So yeah, man, that was. I think I had actually just came back from being on the road for a minute, and so that was kind of like one of the first things I had started cooking up when I was back. And one of the first things I always do when I get back from the road, I always just like listen to mad vinyls, like just mad music on vinyl, just kind of chilling around the crib and shit. And the Gil Scott Heron was one of the Gil Scott Heron joints that I had, and I think I heard the little sweet little Brian. I was like, okay, that'd be cool. Chopped it up, end up laying drums down to it. It just ended up being one of the joints that stuck, man. Yeah, it's fun vocals on there, a lot of raps, cool raps and shit. Yeah, yeah, it's cool little vibey joint for sure. That's a good kind of like synopsis of like my rap sound for sure.
Got you. So, when did you discover Gil Scott Heron? Because a lot of people aren't really hip to yo.
Yeah, I'd say definitely that's one of those. Again, we got shout outs to the ancestors. Like one that my parents definitely put me on. My pops was definitely a big Gil Scott Heron fan. So that's probably where I first got hip. But again, it's always up to us to like tap in and like do the research so that like we can be exposed to these people. But you gotta kind of seek it out and see like why they were these big staples. And yeah, man, just kind of got into I like a lot of his like his more poetic kind of jam poetry sounding stuff. I mean, people don't know that like like the whole like that sound like that's him, that's the nigga, like So it's cool to hear a pioneer, and the pioneer who really kind of honestly inadvertently started a lot of shit. Kind of it's cool to hear him in his element. So yeah, I listen to a lot of Gil Scott Heron. If I'm sampling some shit, it might be Gil Scott Heron. There's a couple of people who it's like, if if I'm sampling some shit and I'm not playing it myself, it might be a Gil Scott Heron record because that's definitely the vibe for sure.
Got you. What would you consider your favorite Gil Scott record?
Oh man, probably Pieces of a Man. Yeah, Pieces of a Man. I like that joint's like that's one of the ones. It's crazy. That's a good if you're not like super hip. Anybody in the chat not super hip to Gil Scott Heron, that's a good like starting point joint because you get to see like you hear you get the lyricism and then you get the musicality, but you also get the emotion. Man, this man was emotional like coming like bleeding out through all the records. So I think that's that's probably one of my favorite ones because it kind of showcases what he's really good at for sure.
Got you.
Yeah.
So for those that's just coming in, this song is called "Carry Out" on the project Faceless by our wonderful guest of episode 38 of Inside the Rapper Studio, Young June.
Hey, yeah.
Young June, do you have any last words, any last promotions, any last propaganda for the people?
Man, not too much, man. Just got one more shout out for you, man. Thanks for having a young brother in this joint, man. Appreciate it. This is a dope interview. It's a dope series that you got going, man. We'll keep this shit going. Just wanted to say, watch out for Zony Sound stuff. We got a lot of cool things coming, a lot of cool content stuff, a lot of cool visual stuff. Check out I just dropped a Baby Callow flip, talk my shit on my page actually. So check out that remix. Yeah, just be on the lookout for more sound, man. More of that Zony sound for sure.
Absolutely. Well, for one, I really have to thank everybody that was in the building for whether it's 1 second, 1 minute, or the entire show. I have to give a huge shout out to IG for having 2 episodes in a row, no cutoffs.
Hey, pop, pop, pop.
So huge shouts out to IG for acting right today for the second time. Huge shouts out. First of all, I have to give a huge shout out to Baby Badu for even like referencing me.
Hey, the plug. Yes, sir.
So yeah, huge shouts out to her. Coming up next on Inside the Rapper Studio tomorrow, we are going to have Planet in the building. We are going to talk about Orphan Grid Radio, managing in Baltimore, also putting on shows and creating content, and also being a writer. It's going to be very chock full of information. It's going to be very thoughtful, and you're really going to have to bring a pen and pad. It's a lot of knowledge that's going to be dropped.
Hey,
So,
sir.
from me, your host, Score Swayze, and from our wonderful guest, Neon June, and of course from everybody that's still in the chat right now, still showing love, still dropping likes, I would like to say thank you very much. And as always, wash your hands,
Wow.
stay in the house.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, yes, sir. Take care, bro.
You too, man.